Thornton and we're at 33 Greenwich, and today we're making fried green tomatoes, which is part of our elevated Southern food menu. A fried green tomato is an unripened tomato. So normally in gardens you have so many tomatoes growing, you want to start picking them early so that you can utilize the red ones. So we take the green ones and we fry them up, and they're absolutely delicious because they're a little bit firmer than ripe tomatoes, so it's just the perfect texture of that crispy friedness with just the right amount of tomato. If you're looking to buy a green tomato, you should look for it to be pretty firm. You can get them at the farmer's market. Also, you can special request from grocery stores and they'll make them available to you as well. You want them to look, be pretty solid. I go for the beefsteak green tomatoes so that they have a little bit less water and I get a nice crispy fry on them. All right, we're gonna get started making the green tomatoes. All you do is make sure that they're nicely washed, cut off the end. You can save that as a tester. And I like my tomatoes not too thick because then they fry up really nicely. And we're gonna do them with a buttermilk batter, and then we're gonna dip them in panko. So we're gonna get a nice crust, and you just don't want it to be too dense of a tomato. I personally like to slice them myself so that they can hold up, and you can kind of see through the light a little bit, but it's not too thick, it's just right there. This way it'll fry up beautifully. Otherwise, you're gonna be eating a lot of tomato. And the ratio of breading to tomato has to be right. Once I have them sliced, I take a little bit of salt and just get it right in there. Just flip them right over, salt them on both sides. You'll see there's a lot of salt going into this process, but that's how you get flavor. I like to use either fine sea salt or kosher salt for this. Next, I take them after they've been salted and I put them in a little bit of flour. Just dip it in the flour. Regular flour. It's a pretty nice coating of it because we're gonna then do buttermilk. That's why you wanna have the tomato pretty thinly sliced, because the buttermilk is gonna make it a little bit thicker once it attaches to this flour, and then the panko. So you end up with something that looks like a thin burger. Now that we have this, we just go ahead and take the same flour, easy breezy, you had before, and you're gonna take a little bit of buttermilk. I love buttermilk. So the acid in this is a perfect complement to these unripened tomatoes. So it's about 1 to 1. So if you're doing a cup of flour, use a cup of buttermilk. If you're doing, 1.5, 1.5, makes it really easy. This is not an exact science by any stretch of the imagination, which makes it a lot more fun. By the time it's done, it should look like wet plaster, basically. So this is a little thick right now, but I like to gradually add in the liquid so that I can get all the lumps out, because you do not want lumpy batter at all. And this is also a good time. Sometimes people don't season their batter enough. This is also super important. You'll see I add salt at every level. Then my other trick to this, which most people do not do, is I add a little sriracha or chili paste. This makes a world of difference. It has so many flavors going on. So you give a good amount, about a tablespoon if you're doing 1 to 1, and it becomes a nice pink color. You're not gonna know what you're tasting with the sriracha in there, but it just adds another level of flavor, especially when it's matched up with a buttermilk dressing. So here's the really fun part, I think at least. And usually I'll use a glove or whatever, but you want to remember to use one hand, keep one hand dry, and one hand can be used for the batter. So you just grab your green tomato, set it in there, plop, plop. There we go. It goes right into the panko. And panko are Japanese breadcrumbs. You could use regular breadcrumbs if you wanted to. I just happen to love them. And they're also a little bit bigger than your average breadcrumb, so they're really nice and give you a good crunch. Back in the batter. Flip, flop. So the density of the batter is such that if your tomatoes are cut to the right thickness, and that's a good way to test how thick your tomatoes are, it will float to the top and it won't sink to the bottom. Now we're gonna go ahead and put these in 325-degree oil. You can use any kind of oil that you'd like to fry in, something preferably with a high smoking point, and you wanna fully submerge them in the oil. And if you're cooking them at home and don't have a deep fryer and you're doing it in a pot, you want about 3 inches of oil. That's the best way. We'll cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes until they're golden brown. They'll also rise to the top as they're starting to finish cooking. They get a beautiful color, but then they also come right to the top of the surface. As soon as these come out of the fryer, you're gonna wanna hit them with salt. Once again, either fine sea salt or kosher salt on both sides. So you can serve your fried green tomatoes any way you want to. I like to serve them on a bed of buttermilk dressing that we make, this delicious herb buttermilk dressing that's very similar to a ranch. So if you don't feel like making your own dressing, you can go ahead and buy a ranch at home and plate it this way. So it's just a little bit of watercress, some radishes, some shallots, just a couple of fresh ingredients, a little thyme in there, a little lemon and olive oil, a touch of salt. The green tomatoes, I cut them in half. You could also do a stack if you wanted to, pouring dressing over each layer. So I take the buttermilk dressing, then I stand my tomatoes up, and the dressing kind of works as the glue. And then I take the salad and just kind of sprinkle it around. So these are our fried green tomatoes, and if you don't feel like making them yourself, even though it's a really fun thing to do, please come in and see us and we'd be happy to serve some to you.